Israel Adesanya is a fraud. The stylebender who used to be the UFC king of the middleweight division is getting handled way too many L's inside and outside the octagon. And to be honest, I don't feel bad. Now before all you Israel fans click off the video and fuck off, if he even still has fans. Like god damn. Here is why. Now we all know that Israel got completely and utterly destroyed by Dricus, but that's not what we're mainly going to talk about. The thing is, Israel wanted us to believe that he was just another poor African from the streets.
Then my father and myself had to wake up at 4 a.m. and clean the banks while my mom studies to be a nurse.
But let's be real for a second. The whole story about not knowing how to bathe himself, that wasn't because he was poor. It's because he was getting his ass cleaned by servants in his house. The fact that he lied makes no sense at all. But still, it's fucking Izzy. What do you expect? First faking cancer, then poverty. We already know that he said he grew up in a house full of housemaids.
What?
Remember that these are his words. And this was back in his interview when he first got into the UFC, which is fucking stupid. Like, we already know that shit. And you come say that, like, this is the most irrational thing I've ever heard in my life.
You know, a better opportunity. He'll never understand that because he lives behind gates of his privileged life in South Africa, and he's able to do that there. So
that's Adesanya talking about Du Plessis just now in the interview. And this is Adesanya from an interview when he first got to the UFC and was told to detail his life story.
I didn't even know how to bathe for myself till I was about 8 or 7 or something, because we had housemaids, you know, cooking for us, bathing us. And it wasn't until like, I think maybe 8 years old, I realized this wasn't like every kid that had.
And 4 years later, he says that he and his family struggled for bread, acting like he's one of those poor Africans. And then he puts himself next to Abdul Razak, a Ghanaian mixed martial artist, who actually had a rough upbringing, saying that he and him were forced to leave Africa. This is Izzy's words, by the way. Like, what? What also confuses me is that Abdul Razak turned against Dricus when he started talking shit out of nowhere. In an odd way, actually. You're mad at Dricus for that comment as if he said the hard R or some shit. But not at Adesanya, who pretended like he grew up in the same way as you? From nothing? That's fucked up. From my point of view, I think that it's more logical to put all of that antagonistic energy on Izzy, not Dricus. But you can only keep up the act for so long. The truth started to catch up when Adesanya stepped into the cage with Dricus Du Plessis. Boy, we used to think that you were slick, that you make medicine sick. But now we know you got a small dick. It's alright, man. It happens. We all lose. Everyone makes mistakes. But you didn't just lose. You got humiliated. That's right. You one-titted, preening Chinese wannabe-ass negro. Yeah, you thought I wasn't gonna be talking about that. Look at this motherfucker's face after saying that shit.
Inside, I am Chinese. I'm the Black Dragon.
It's like you want this. It's like you are purposely setting yourself up for mockery. Man, no wonder why Sean Strickland smeared dog shit on your ass. We don't like you. We don't like you. The UFC don't even like you. We just about tolerate your ass. And what makes it worse is that he cried in front of his family and looked like he actually had nothing to lose, and he will beat him and he will do this and that, only to get submitted for the first time in the octagon. And at this point, there's just no dignity for the man. There are people who actually have cancer and are fighting more internal battles than how much this man does in the octagon. Okay, but let's forget about the cancer part, because chances of him lying about that one is considerably low. Maybe he kissed his dog way too much to the point that he had herpes and he thought that he had cancer. You know, there is a reason why you call yourself the stylebender. It's because you are the only fighter in the UFC, or the only fighter in the world, who bends his dog. And don't even get me started on that dog shit. Ugh. You know I almost threw up in the last 2 videos when I recorded that shit and showed the clip. You disgusting dog-licking puta. I know this happened a long time ago, but no one, I mean no one, forgets about this shit. Izzy, stop acting like you are someone you're not. There are people who actually struggle for a slice of bread, who die of hunger and thirst, who starve to death. There are people who actually suffer more than how much you suffer in the octagon. This is nothing. This is a huge insult to everyone who had bad luck. You are the most pathetic UFC fighter I've ever seen in my life, besides Jamal Hill. And I mean it. I'm out of this shit.
Baby, let me see some. Okay, too bad. Bitches, going both ways. She gon' do it for these fans. She make it clap like how I do both of my hands.